You are just a housewife. You don't even work. You're home all the time. So what's so hard about that?
My husband is constantly verbally abusive to me. I want to end my relationship with my outwardly good-looking husband. One day, I went to an elementary school presentation with him, and it was my daughter's turn. I spent a day secretly investing my father on his working days to find out how he spends his time. My dear husband, my daughter knows everything about you, even if you don't tell her. I'm Thelma, a stay-at-home mom. I worked as a flight attendant for a major airline until our daughter Jackie was born. My husband Zach was an upperclassman when we were still in high school. I even wished I could connect with him by praying in a church. When we got on a committee together, it felt like I was on the top of the world. Once we were able to talk a little, I was thrilled every day. But the day came when the school term changed and the committee came to an end. After that, there were no more opportunities for conversation. Nothing happened after that, and even Zach graduated. I never forgot him. Time passed, and I was working hard as a flight attendant for a major airline when God performed a miracle for me. He happened to be on a flight I was assigned to. It was a good thing that I went to pray in the church after I had made contact with him. Of course, I couldn't do anything fancy because I was working, but I was able to reconnect with Zach. After that, he and I got together. When we went to his parents' house, they were very happy to see us.
We are so happy to have a daughter because we only have boys. I won't forgive you if you make Thelma cry, okay? Take care of her for the rest of her life. That's what a man does.
I couldn't help but smile at how manly and kind he was. Things have been going well ever since. We bought a new house in a condo and were blessed with a beautiful daughter. The relationship with my in-laws had been completely smooth. And so the three of us lived happily ever after. The end. It would have been great if that was the end of the story. But reality was not like that. When my daughter was in the 4th grade, I started having trouble sleeping at night, and I had a mental breakdown. My husband has a job that requires him to travel frequently. My parents' home and his parents' home are far away. I had no one nearby to turn to in times of trouble. After 10 years of trying hard, I have finally reached my limit. I used to be a perfectionist by nature. It was my fault. As a result of being too hard on myself, my mind and body broke down. My husband's attitude toward me became cold when I couldn't do my housework properly and kept crying.
As a housewife, you just stay at home all the time without doing any work. What the hell is wrong with you?
My mother came to my house to help me recover from my illness. But my marriage completely broke down after that. My husband disrespected me. His attitude got worse. He complained about my housework. He complained about the stains on the laundry, the dust in the corner of the room, and the fact that I couldn't even cook a good meal. I was getting more and more trapped. But once we stepped out of the house, my husband's attitude changed completely, and he became the nice husband who puts his family first, even in front of our daughter. It made me sad to see him no longer be the person that I had once admired. I was disgusted with myself for laughing along with my husband, but I was completely under his control and could not resist. Days like this continued. One day, I noticed something about my husband. While my husband was in the bathroom, I happened to see a pop-up notification on his phone. There was a message with the name of a woman I didn't know, and there was a heart emoji in it. I was shocked, but I was also prepared for the day when this would happen in our current relationship. Still, there was nothing I could do. I didn't want to cause any trouble at home, and I felt sorry for my child if we divorced. These feelings are not lies. But even so, I didn't even have the courage to face my husband. I had been collecting evidence of the affair, just in case. But none of it seemed convincing enough, so I was lacking in decisive evidence. It is too painful to continue living like this. I might get mentally or physically sick again. What should I do? Then something happened that made me despair even more. It was my daughter's birthday, and my husband was going to buy a cake for her on his way home from work. It was a very delicious cake, made by a famous pâtissier, which she loved. But it was not something she could eat on a daily basis. So when I told her it was special this time, she jumped with glee. It's 6 p.m. The meal was almost ready. My husband has not come home yet. I text him, but he doesn't read my messages, and even though it's already 8 p.m., he still hasn't come home. I start eating dinner with my daughter. 10 p.m. He doesn't come home. My daughter is asleep. I'm used to him neglecting me. But this behavior toward my daughter is unforgivable. I reminded myself that I had to speak up for once today. It's 2 hours past midnight. My husband finally came home. He doesn't say anything when he comes home. He goes past the living room and goes straight to the bathroom. I follow and approach him there. Hey.
Oh, I didn't know you were up.
Hey, it's Jackie's birthday. What did you do with the cake? I'm tearing up as I speak.
Oh, I forgot. Of course I was working, right? I'm tired. Give me a break, okay?
Not one word of apology. It's easy to guess that he was with someone instead of working. His family doesn't matter to him anymore. I went to my bedroom in tears, thinking that I would not be able to question him even if I talked more. In bed, I bit my lip and cried, trying desperately to keep my voice down. I had no hope for the future in my life. I had given up on everything. And yet, the seasons change. Summer vacation was over. One day, it was the day of my daughter's presentation of her summer research. She told my husband and me every day that she was going to make an outstanding presentation and that we should definitely come. On the day of the presentation, my husband was ready to go. He ignored the birthday cake, but it was obvious that he wanted to show the parents and teacher at school that he was a family man. Oh, it's Jackie's parents. What a wonderful family you have. My husband was happy to hear this from the other parents.
No. My daughter wanted me to come. This is no big deal.
I give a rueful fake smile. We are actually just masquerading as a happy married couple. I am tempted to go around saying that. We enter the classroom, and soon after, the presentations begin. Jackie's classmates had their own research topics. Some brought dioramas to show off, while others presented the result of their research on electricity, plants, and environmental issues. As expected of sixth graders, they were very well prepared. As I was watching, Jackie went in front of the blackboard. She stood in front of the blackboard, took a deep breath, and began her presentation. I could feel some nervousness in her voice. My summer research is about my dad. Oh wow, you're so loved by your daughter. The parents next to me said that to my husband. Well, she's kind of like her daddy's girl. He shows a bashful expression. Jackie continues her presentation. My dad is a very handsome man. He was certainly the man of my dreams, and he is very good looking. Only on the outside though. He is a salesman for a pharmaceutical company. He often comes home after midnight. Even though he is busy, he always comes to work looking sharp and cool like today. During the summer vacation, I try to find out if my father is really busy with his work and what he does every day. Jackie's presentation was getting a little weird. After finishing the introduction, Jackie operated the computer connected to the projector and moved the presentation material to the screen in front of the blackboard. I followed my father closely to find out how he spends his working day. He wakes up at 7 a.m., eats breakfast prepared by my mother, goes to work at 8 a.m., and arrives at the office at 9 a.m. At 9:30, he goes out for his rounds. He is always accompanied by a female employee. Around 10 a.m., he goes to a cafe far from the office and makes out with this woman. The classroom is abuzz. My husband is flustered, but
I don't know what she means. What kids say, really? I don't know what she is talking about. Haha.
he's frantically trying to calm down the situation in the classroom. At 12, they move to a restaurant to have lunch together. And after lunch, they flirt again. Then at around 2 p.m., they visit the client's company and finally get to work. After the visit, he meets up with a woman again at around 3:30 p.m. and they go to a hotel. They stay at the hotel for about 2 hours, return to the office around 5 p.m. and leaves work at 6 p.m. Then they have dinner at a restaurant while flirting around.
Wait. Jackie, what are you talking about? Hey, ma'am, you have to stop this right now. What the hell is a teacher doing?
My husband is still trying to keep his cool, but he's sweating profusely. He's panicking so much that he's looking pale. Jackie's teacher, Miss Burns, says quietly, "I'm sorry, please be quiet." She seems a little on edge. Let's go back in time. It was the day before the presentation. Jackie asked me to come into her room, and then she apologized. She told me that she had stumbled across evidence of the affair, that she knew that her dad was playing with fire, that she had researched it and made it her summer project, and that tomorrow she would present it in front of the crowd. But maybe that might humiliate me. She looked anxious. To be honest, I was surprised, but I was even more surprised by her ability to secretly follow her dad during the summer vacation, taking pictures and checking every detail of their interactions on social networking sites and messaging apps. I knew she was a strong girl, but I didn't expect her to be this strong. I wondered what kind of parent I would be to let my daughter do such a thing. But I also felt that this was the only way. My husband is a proud, self-conceited man, and I felt that he would wriggle his way out no matter what evidence I had, and I didn't have the confidence to go toe-to-toe with him. But with this, if I could get him in front of a room full of people, he would have to admit guilt. I apologized to my daughter and asked her to go through with the presentation. Don't worry about whether or not I will be embarrassed. I'm sorry. I know that was hard. Thank you, Jackie. I hugged her and cried. Jackie looked at me and said, "I love you, Mommy. I can never forgive Dad for cheating on you. I'm sorry I scared you, but I will protect you. And it wasn't hard. It was fun being a detective. Tomorrow, we're gonna get to the bottom of this." Seeing my daughter shedding tears as we talked, I could feel her feeling so painfully, but she's really strong and dependable. Afterwards, she showed me her presentation materials, and she had a lot of evidence that I didn't have. With this, we could win. I knew we had won, and here we are. I'm now listening to the presentation with a great sense of calm because I had heard everything yesterday. I can even afford to enjoy watching my husband's reaction with a cool head. Jackie's presentation continues. The projector screen changes. There was a picture of a woman and my husband going into a hotel, enjoying a date on a holiday, and so on. I found out that my father does not play with me on holidays, but with some other woman. Then, the next screen shows a message exchange with a woman. The screen switches again. The screen shows a series of screenshots of the exchange. I had a good time with you today, babe.
I was happy to spend time with you, sweet cheeks. You were so cute today.
What? Just today? Oh.
Sorry, you're always cute. Kiss.
I guess it can't be helped. I forgive you. In exchange, let's go on a date next week. Jackie reads the messages in different voices. Sweet Cheeks is a woman, and Bay is my husband. Several parents burst out laughing uncontrollably at the name Sweet Cheeks and the content of the exchange. The students also burst into laughter.
Oh, please.
My husband, who is always so self-conceited, sounded pathetic. After the class calmed down, my daughter started to summarize her presentation. I've been investigating my father's true identity. It was a lie that he was busy with his work. This is because my father has been making out with a woman during his working hours. In other words, my father is having an affair with this woman. Having a relationship with another woman even though you are married is called cheating. My father is cheating on my mother. I have learned that my father is lousy father, husband, and member of society. These are the result of my research. She concluded with a smile. The classroom erupted in applause, and everyone in the room looked at my husband coldly. My husband sank to the cold floor of the classroom and was silent. He could not say anything back. There is another incoming attack. His phone has been ringing since a few minutes ago. He seems to be so shocked by his daughter's presentation that he doesn't notice. Your phone is ringing. He finally realizes what I'm saying and runs out of the classroom to answer the phone.
Yes. What? What?
The call was from the company. My daughter had mailed a copy of her project to the president of her dad's company. My father spends most of his working hours cheating on my mom. He also lies to me that he has to work on his days off and goes out with a woman instead of spending time with us. Please take strict action against adults who do not do their jobs. After the presentation, my husband and I left the school together. He was quiet until we arrived home. When we entered the house, my husband made a scene.
What the hell is going on?
My husband got irritated and hit me. At that moment, a person appeared at the door. He went to Zach as fast as a missile and grabbed him by the chest and shook him around as if he was a rag doll.
What have you done?
He screamed and slapped my husband at the same time. It was my father-in-law. My mother-in-law followed him. My parents appeared. Both sides of the family were there. I had called out to them, anticipating this turn of events. And then, my father-in-law spread out on the table a piece of paper with my daughter's research material printed on it.
With this much evidence, you can't get away with it. And don't you feel sorry as a parent for letting your daughter see you like this? Get down on your knees and apologize.
My father-in-law grabbed my husband's head and forced him to get down on his knees.
I'm sorry.
I looked down at my husband, who was down on his knees, tears and snot running down his nose, and told him, "Please sign the papers." He signed the divorce papers on the spot, and my husband was taken away by my parents-in-law. After that, thanks to the evidence my daughter had gathered for me, the divorce was finalized with a generous alimony payment. But still, I was worried about my daughter since she made such a presentation at school. I became a little popular because sweet cheeks became a buzzword. She was so open about it. All the parents were on my side. Whenever I met them on the street, they would give me lots of words of support and encouragement. Jackie's homeroom teacher talked to me later. She told me that my daughter had told her about the contents of the presentation before she made it. The teacher, who herself had experience in being cheated on, said that as a teacher she should have stopped it, but instead, she had encouraged her to do it. She gave me a kind smile. My ex-husband has been demoted to a lower department and is having a very hard time both physically and mentally. I heard that the other woman was also transferred to an office in a developing country and is no longer in this country. Everything is now settled. I'm now living a happy life with my daughter. I'm mentally calmer now that I'm away from my ex-husband. I have regained my life. My confidence is back, and I'm now employed again in the airline industry since my daughter started high school. I've had enough of marriage. I want to enjoy my energetic days to the fullest at my own pace. And when I am not working, I want to spend all my time with my daughter. Although my daughter, now in high school, is still rebellious, we can always talk to each other about anything as if we were friends. She sees me working hard at the airport. I want to be an independent and cool woman like my mom. She tells me with a twinkle in her eye, I owe everything to you. I want to repay you with my life, and I will never, ever, ever make you unhappy. This winter break, my daughter and I will be traveling to New York City. I'm looking forward to Christmas and New Year in New York.